Hey, and welcome to the Lore Tours Interdimensional Spaceport, your destination for tours through the lore behind some of the most fascinating individuals, groups, and events in the multiverse. I hope you packed your scuba gear, as it looks like you're heading over to Rapture today. Try not to bring any splicer stowaways back with you, please. Those guys creep me out. Well, anyway, it looks like your flight's now boarding. You better get to your gate. Good luck.
Welcome aboard, everyone. This is your captain speaking. We're expecting a rather wet flight to the North Atlantic today. And as a quick reminder, we ask that you do not consume any plasmids that we might come across in Rapture. I ain't having any splicers on board. Please ensure that your seatbelts are fastened, as we'll be entering warp speed in 3, 2, 1. Earth, mid-20th century, the home of Rapture. Let's dive in. Deep down in the icy cold depths of the Atlantic Ocean lies a massive underwater metropolis forged from the dreams of visionary business magnate Andrew Ryan. Envisioned as a secretive utopia free from the parasitic interference of religion and government, Rapture initially begun as a community of free thinkers who sought an escape from the oppressive world above the seas. Rather than be guided by any government, the citizens of Rapture chose to be guided by ambition, science, and the pursuit of personal achievement. This was far from a utopia, however, as due to the unrestricted capitalistic nature of Rapture, everything, even the emergency services and oxygen, came with a price. Fearing the effects of the atomic weapons utilised at the conclusion of World War II, Ryan began contacting like-minded individuals and started construction of Rapture in late 1945. Built upon the sea floor somewhere between Greenland and Iceland, Rapture would require the brightest minds of engineering to help construct it. Resources were secretly obtained and shipped thousands of miles to the construction site, where they were then submerged to the sea floor using a giant submersible platform known as the Sinker. Deep-sea welders would go on to create the foundations of Rapture, to which prefabricated buildings would be submerged and anchored to following their construction on the surface. As early as November 1946, residents began arriving at their new home under the seas. But to reach Rapture, residents first had to travel to a remote lighthouse in the middle of the North Atlantic. From here they would descend into the deep sea city by bathysphere, state-of-the-art submersible vehicles, which served as one of the main methods of transportation around Rapture via the Rapture metro system. For the citizens who could not afford these pricey bathyspheres, the Atlantic Express railway system and a series of glass walking tunnels would have to suffice. In its early years, Rapture flourished as a free market utopia, in which everyone could freely reap the rewards of their own hard work. Despite this early success, however, not all was as great as it seemed. As whilst the individualistic and laissez-faire society of Rapture led to vast economic success for some, it also helped foster staggering inequality between the social classes, and rewarded those who valued greed and elitism. Life in Rapture did begin to improve, however, when in the late 40s to early 50s, Dr. Bridget Tenenbaum discovered a new chemical substance known as Adam. This new technological marvel would allow an individual to alter their genetic code without limit, effectively turning the citizens of Rapture into superhumans compared to the humans on the surface. The source of Adam was a species of sea slug found on the seabed around Rapture, but due to these slugs producing only a small quantity of Adam each, they were embedded in the stomachs of human hosts, as this process would generate 30 times the amount of Adam. This led to the creation of little sisters, young girls bonded to sea slugs and protected by big daddies, hulking biomechanical humanoids, who also served as Rapture's main form of construction and maintenance workers. It did not take long, however, for Adam's destructive side to reveal itself. It was, after all, a drug, and it created a powerful addiction in its users. Sustained Adam use eventually turned its user into a being known as a splicer, an insane and deformed drug addict, willing to kill anyone they came across in their search for their next hit of Adam. This chemical wonder would eventually become the downfall of Rapture, when a businessman named Frank Fontaine, who had built up a sprawling Adam production industry, was apparently killed by Andrew Ryan, who had become paranoid and fearful of the increasingly powerful Fontaine. This apparent act of murder, combined with the rise of a revolutionary leader known as Atlas, and the deterioration of order brought about by Adam addiction, eventually led to a working-class uprising on New Year's Eve, 1958. By 1960, Rapture had become the battleground of a bloody civil war, and was now a desolate wasteland, roamed by raving mad splicers. Atlas, who would later be revealed to be the previously thought dead Frank Fontaine, managed to lure his oblivious sleeper agent, a man by the name of Jack, to Rapture. Fontaine would go on to guide Jack through the hellscape that was Rapture, culminating in Jack killing Ryan and saving the city from a self-destruct sequence. Fontaine would then meet his demise shortly thereafter, following an ill-advised attempt to turn on Jack that resulted in the death of a heavily spliced Fontaine. In the 8 years that followed these events, Rapture continued to deteriorate. With a faltering power system and dwindling number of Big Daddies to perform maintenance, several areas of Rapture either became completely flooded or crumbled into the ocean floor. The power vacuum left after the demise of Ryan and Fontaine was filled by the Rapture family, a cult led by Rapture's psychiatrist, Sophia Lamb. Lamb's cult sought to, via human sacrifice, imbue Lamb's daughter Eleanor with the combined genius of Rapture's citizens in an attempt to create a utopian individual that would ascend to the surface world. Eleanor, a former little sister, sought to escape the clutches of her psychotic mother and revived her long-dormant guardian, an Alpha Series Big Daddy known as Subject Delta. During the events of Eleanor's rescue, much of Rapture was either flooded or sunk into an ocean trench, whilst much of the Rapture family were annihilated. Now with no one left to rule it, and having sustained severe damage due to recent events, Rapture lies hidden and silent at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, slowly falling apart, leaving the few remaining insane splicers trapped in a watery grave, and the ruins of this once astounding technological marvel left forgotten in the deep, dark depths of the Atlantic Ocean. That's it for our trip to Rapture today, folks. I've been your captain today, Captain Rick, and I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with us. Please consider hitting the subscribe button down below to become one of our frequent flyers, or click on one of our other videos to book your next flight with us. We can't wait to have you on board with us again soon. We'll catch you next time.